Taiwo Alimi is a tourism analyst from Financial Derivatives Company Limited. We were supposed to talk tourism, but Taiwo, look, we have to just touch on this a bit. What do you make of what we just heard, the breakdown from the Honourable Minister?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So I think the main thing we should be looking at is actually the budget deficit, which stands at about 6 trillion naira. So how is this deficit going to be funded? Borrowing. Interest rates are high. Everything is high. So what's going to happen?
Exactly. I think she said, what's those numbers? She said about 7 trillion, as far as the borrowing is concerned, is going to be... Actually, no, hold on. It's 11.34 trillion. That's the deficit. 5.03% of GDP. Finance, 7.7 trillion of that domestic, 1.7 trillion foreign. So smaller portion of that foreign, but then as you've mentioned, we're going to hear from the Federal Reserve in the United States, probably going to be hiking rates as well, the EU and so on and so forth. Ways and means. I talked about this extensively with the legend, Bosun Omofaya, Rise Exchange, 7 p.m. Weekdays, and he talked about what needs to be done. The minister still used that word securitization. And we saw what happened with the legislature. Yeah. They have not approved this, right? So, you know, I don't know what you make of that. You think they'll sort it out at some point?
Well, hopefully they'll come to an agreement.
Well, by the way, the money has already been spent. What else? I mean, she went through so much. Okay, this is very interesting. She said that the federal government has foregone 6 trillion naira in revenue due to tax incentives, so tax holidays, right? So by her language, it looks like they're going to be pulling that back, because 6 trillion naira, that's a lot. So I mean, would that disincentivize investment if you don't give tax holidays to corporations? How do you think that works out? That sounds a bit complicated if they're going to pull that back. What else here? She also... we didn't hear anything on fuel subsidies. She says... Yeah, because the projection is that I believe we're going to spend half year 6 trillion if we keep the subsidies till June, full year by 11 to 12 trillion, right? So, that wasn't mentioned. Isn't that the biggest... I mean, as far as... when you talk about Nigeria and public spending.
Yes, that should be the main thing you're talking about.
It's the main one. What else did she say? There's so much here. As far as, the debt. Now, she said that public debt as a percentage of GDP, 22.8%, that's 2022. However, if you include ways and means, 35.3% as far as that is concerned. What else did she go through here? A whole lot. But I think the biggest issue here, as you've already mentioned, is how this is going to be funded. Okay, sectors, healthcare, 1.15 trillion. But yes, we still have an exodus of doctors leaving the country. We had that terrible tragedy with the lady that was killed in Ajah in Lagos, and they went to about 3 hospitals. None of them wanted to attend to her. As far as the expectations for healthcare, and I know you're a tourism analyst, maybe we'll get to tourism in a second, but we have to talk about this. The allocations, is it enough? The general consensus is no. That's what. What do you think as far as healthcare is concerned in this country? We're supposed to have a universal healthcare program, but that's not being funded, right? Defense, 2.9 trillion, 13% of the total budget, almost 3 trillion naira on defense. Yet we've still got insecurity. In fact, funny enough, let me go back to debt, because you can mirror something here. The budget has 2.98 trillion, which is going to defense. That figure, our debt service for January through September was 3 trillion naira. So the amount of money that Nigeria spent on servicing her debt from January through September of last year, 2022, is equal to the amount of money Nigeria plans to spend on defending herself from insecurity and so on. It's quite... Okay, last one. Let's just touch on one more here. She said so much. Privatization proceeds. She was breaking down how much money we would earn from privatization. It's 206 billion.
That's so small.
It's really small. I mean, Doing Salami said that if Nigeria was to, as far as debt capital is concerned, we have about 900 billion, almost $1 trillion naira. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it's a whole lot here with respect to this budget breakdown from the Minister of Finance. Also, one more thing. She said no debt restructuring. Sure. She said that. Now, of course, she's walking that back because remember she gave that interview with Bloomberg where she said that we're planning to restructure, but now officially she says there's no debt restructuring for the country. So very interesting. Okay, real quick, what kind of money do you want to see? What do you want to see allocated to tourism? You don't have to give me a figure. Since you're a tourism analyst, we're supposed to talk about tourism. What needs to be done to boost Nigeria's tourism?
A lot needs to be done to boost Nigeria's tourism.
Like what? More money?
Yeah, definitely more money. Then I think one thing it should be clear marketing strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't tell people what you have, how would they know?
Exactly.
Nigeria is very rich culturally, and I think we have a lot to offer in the tourism space.
I mean, you've got the governors of the different political parties going to London, going to Spain, going to all these countries, having their meetings. They could easily do that here to boost tourism.
To boost. One interesting thing is that we're actually trying to get there because I think in Cross River some years back, if you know about Tinapa, that didn't work out. Yeah. That was a white elephant, as some people will call it.
Exactly.
But then I think there's something, for a fact, in Edo State, the Godwin Obaseki is trying to put various initiatives together so he can put Edo State on the tourism map. Yeah. And this is the interesting thing is that this coincides with the repatriation of artifacts. Right. So imagine how this will pull tourists into the country. Right. But I mean, at the end of the day, we need to sort out our insecurity issues. Exactly. Imagine coming to Nigeria and then to have fun, and then you get kidnapped. How who do you want to tell? You're not going to want to do that. Yeah. Taiwo, look, appreciate your time. Maybe we'll get into tourism more in depth in another segment. But thank you for joining us to talk about this budget breakdown from the Minister of Finance, Dr. Zainab Ahmed. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.